friends. I feel like we are always talking about reading recommendations and books that I love and that you love. And today I just wanted to keep things a little bit more informal. I plopped myself here down on the floor in front of my bookshelf, and I just wanted to chat with you about bookish things and have a really fun conversation with you, I hope, about books that I am looking forward to reading in the fall. If you are familiar with NetGalley, it is a space where anyone can go, and you just need to let them know what sort of social media following or blog space that you run, how you're going to share reviews. And it is a space for book reviewers to get early copies from the publishers to then read and leave reviews about the books. Like I said, it's accessible to anyone. It can take a little bit of time to build up the audience that the publishers are looking for in order to get the books. But if that's something that you are interested in, I will put the link for NetGalley down below so you can check it out. I have quite the shelf going on NetGalley right now, and I need to focus on some of my reading for the fall and get through some of my books. One of the things, if you're a NetGalley reviewer, is that you need to keep your reputation up. That means kind of the ratio of how many books you're reading to how many books you're reviewing in order to be approved for upcoming books. So I'm working really hard to stay at the required recommended percentage. Things are going well with that, but I want to make sure that I stay on top of it. There's some books that I'm really excited for coming up this fall that I want to read, and I wanted to share those with you. I thought we could talk about them together. I'm going to be scrolling on my phone as I share these with you because I have the ebook copies. I do have the Kindle Paperwhite, which I do love for the ease on my eyes for reading because I'm on the computer the majority of the day, and it is a really easy reading experience. But you do not get to see the covers in color. And that part of it I do miss a little bit, seeing the vibrancy of the covers and being able to experience them in that way. So I am going to look at them on the app version as I go through them with you today. And then somewhere up in here, I will put the covers so you can see what they look like. As usual, all the information will be down in the inbox below. Let's get chatting. So leave a comment and let me know if you are a NetGalley reviewer. I'm interested to see how many people on here. Have you heard of it before? Do you enjoy reading early copies of books? I will say that I like to have a mix. I really like to leave space for backlists. I like finding authors that the books have maybe been out for a while and I just wasn't aware of them and going back and reading them. I love my local library. It's amazing, and I love requesting books from them. But I do love the thrill of reading new books and seeing what's out there and what's fresh and what's popular right now and what are people interested in, what are the new hot topics, what new direction is romance going, all of the things. So I love a good mix of reading. So let's see, what do we have on here for the fall? Some of the books they have on here aren't coming out until next year, so I'll save those to tell you. Ooh, this is one that's actually just came out. I will let you know, and it is called Storybook Ending by Poppy Anderson. She has The Littlest Library, which is very popular. This one says, from the author of The Littlest Library, a heartwarming novel about a widowed children's book author who moves into a cottage in the English countryside and finds herself face to face with a handsome and brooding blacksmith who lives next door. In her book, she can write happily ever after, but real life, that's another matter. This one sounded really good. I was really drawn to the cover, and I've seen Poppy Anderson's books around for quite a while, and I haven't read any yet, so this one is definitely on the list. Let's see. We do have September 10th release is The Booklover's Library. This one is described as a heartwarming story about a mother and daughter in wartime England and the power of books that bring them together, by the best-selling author of The Last Bookshop in London. And it says, in Nottingham, England, widow Emma Taylor finds herself in desperate need of a job. She and her beloved daughter, Olivia, have always managed just fine on their own. But with the legal restrictions prohibiting widows with children from most employment opportunities, she's left with only one option: persuading the manageress at Boots Booklover's library to take a chance on her with a job. And then it goes on to explain what happens. There's books that are mysteriously misshelved and disappearing, and the Blitz is intensifying. The power of literature is what they lean on to find hope in the darkest of times. So that one, I'm really excited. I need to get to that one soon. We have two Christmas ones actually on here. I love holiday reading. I don't know about you, but there's just something so magical about holiday romance that I absolutely adore. Ooh, this one I'm really excited for. Let's see. The release is August 27th, and it is called Given Our History. The description says, Assistant Professor Clara Fernsby is nothing if not driven. She's wanted to teach history since she was 14. She hasn't let anything stand in her way, not even the love of her life. And it's all paid off in the end because she's landed a well-paid position at a private liberal arts college fresh out of grad school. And this year, she's finally up for tenure. When Theodore Harrison is brought on for the fall semester as a visiting scholar, it's an unwelcomed blast from Clara's past. She hasn't spoken to Teddy since a falling out 10 years ago. Now that he's here, she's reminded of their shared history at every autumn spent at a sleepaway camp in the Blue Ridge Mountains, where she traded battered books and burned CDs with a quiet, dark-haired boy and fell in love with him. That boy must have been her best friend, but the man teaching History 322 is a total stranger. But as they spend evenings working on a shared project and brainstorming over drinks at a college bar, Clara realizes she's at risk of falling over again. Given their history, she knows there's every chance he's not interested, but history is all down to interpretation, and this time around, she's got no intentions of repeating it. Oh, I love a good academic romance, fall vibes, all the things are just so good about romance and fall time. So that one is definitely on the list to get to. And we have, this one just released, and I need to catch up and read this one. It is called Maria, and it is the story of Maria von Trapp. I saw this one. Let me know if you grew up loving The Sound of Music like I did. It was just such a good movie as a child to watch. I haven't seen it in so long. I should watch it again one of these nights. But it says, in the 1950s, Oscar Hammerstein is asked to write the lyrics to a musical based on the life of a woman named Maria von Trapp. He's intrigued to learn that she was once a novice who hoped to live quietly as an Austrian nun before her abbey sent her away to teach a widowed baron's sickly child. What should have been a 10-month assignment, however, unexpectedly turned into a marriage proposal. And when the family was forced to flee their home to escape the Nazis, it was Maria who instructed them on how to survive using nothing but the power of their voices. It's an inspirational story, to be sure, and as half of the famous Rodgers and Hammerstein duo, Hammerstein knows it has big Broadway potential. Yet much of Maria's life will have to be reinvented for the stage. And with the horrors of war still fresh in people's minds, Hammerstein can't let audiences see just how close the Von Trapps came to losing their lives. But when Maria sees the script that is supposedly based on her life, she becomes so incensed that she sets off to confront Hammerstein in person. Told that he's busy, she is asked to express her concerns to his secretary, Fran, instead. The pair strike up an unlikely friendship as Maria tells Fran about her life, contradicting much of what will eventually appear in The Sound of Music. A tale of love, loss, and the difficult choices that we are often forced to make, Maria is a powerful reminder that the truth is usually more complicated and certainly more compelling than the stories immortalized by Hollywood. That sounds so interesting, and I really need to get to that one as well. As you can tell, I have a bit of reading ahead of me that I need to get through, and I don't ever want to feel like I don't have a stack of books that I need to get reading because it really, to me, adds the excitement. I know some people feel stressed out to have a large stack to get through, but to me, it just makes things more excited, and I like having options to choose from. That is one of the joys I find of reading historical fiction is to always look at the story as being inspired and then dig into it a little bit more and see what is the truth behind it. And you will learn so much. I love that aspect of reading, that it is just a kind of follow the signs, follow the treasures to see what else you can learn from a book that became inspiration to someone, and then it can inspire you to learn so much more from it. I would love to know what is on your fall reading list. Do you get to all the books that you want to read, or do you have more on your list than you ever get to? Let me know what new releases you are excited for. If you haven't yet checked out our community, don't forget to do so. Our links are all in the Dropbox below. We have a free reading challenge every month, and then we also have our tiers. We just unlocked a new Conversations with Caroline, where you can chat a bit with Caroline Jane Knight, Jane Austen's fifth great niece, and the last of her nieces to grow up in Chawton House. So you can explore that as part of our Patreon community, as well as we have a time to read group reading time coming up. We have activities going there, as well as our book club. We would love to have you come be a part of that as well. Until next time, I will wish you happy reading. Take care. Bye.